Hello, my name is Tony Beers, and this is Movie Reads.
And just like the movies, we play out our last scene. Yo, Joe!
G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra. Hollywood, you're killing my childhood. Initially, I was very excited to see this movie. I was waiting about 20 years to see a live-action G.I. Joe movie, and it was announced, and I couldn't have been more excited to see it. But then, I started seeing announcements about the movie that really disappointed me. The first thing that disappointed me was I found out who the director was. Stephen Sommers. The director of those terrible Mummy movies, which I hated so much, as well as Van Helsing, which I also hated. Then I saw who was going to star in this movie. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's right, a little kid from Third Rock from the Sun. Oh, God, another disappointment. And then the disappointments kept on coming. Then was announced that Marlon Wayans would be in this movie. Another person that I can't stand. His whole family I can't stand. Then they announced who was going to play Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes was my favorite character from the cartoon series, so I felt, oh, this better be good. They better have someone really good for Snake Eyes. And it was announced Ray Park. I was like, perfect casting for this movie. Ray Park, who played Darth Maul in Star Wars The Phantom Menace, is perfect for Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes doesn't really have to be a good actor. You need a very good stuntman to be Snake Eyes. Someone who knows a lot of martial arts. And Ray Park is perfect. Snake Eyes doesn't speak, so you don't need a great actor. Then I saw a picture of Snake Eyes. And man, that picture looked badass. It looked perfect for what Snake Eyes should look like. Maybe this movie won't be so bad after all. But then I seen pictures of the other G.I. Joes, of Scarlet, of Duke, General Hawk, of Heavy Duty, and they were all dressed in black. This would make sense for Snake Eyes, since Snake Eyes is a ninja, and ninjas dress in black. But why would any of these other characters dress in black? They didn't look like any of the characters from the cartoon show that I remember at all. Then I seen a picture of the Baroness, and she looks pretty good. She looks almost as exactly like she looked in the cartoon series. I thought, well, this is one good thing about it. Then I saw a picture of Storm Shadow. I thought, wow, now we're talking a white ninja. This looks great. He looks just like he should look in a live-action G.I. Joe movie. Then I saw the first Super Bowl trailer, which I was impressed. The action looked awesome. The G.I. Joes looked good, even though the costumes didn't look so good. Then I saw the second trailer with the accelerator suits. My hopes went down again. But I thought, couldn't be that bad, could it? I know this is something from my childhood that I love. Hollywood's not gonna mess it up, is it? I always give a movie the benefit of a doubt. I never judge a movie until I see it. The plot to this movie is a typical G.I. Joe plot. Mars, which later on in the movie becomes Cobra, develops a weapon, which I think are called nanites, which basically eat metal, and they are being transported by Duke and Ripcord, and is later attacked by an unknown force who tries to steal these weapons. And then their attack is stopped by G.I. Joe, who comes swooping down. Snake Eyes himself drops from a plane and does amazing badass martial arts and takes out the bad guy. And I am getting really excited. As soon as Snake Eyes pops on the screen, my heart is racing. I'm pumped. He's kicking ass. This movie might be amazing. It might be the best movie this summer. But then the movie goes on. My biggest complaint about this movie is the relationship of the characters. We find out that Duke was engaged to be married to the Baroness. I've never read the G.I. Joe comics, but I am a huge fan of the G.I. Joe animated series. And this never happened in the animated series. So this was really disappointed me. It didn't make any sense at all to me why this would be true. And the Baroness is clearly American. And in the animated series, she was some Eastern European Baroness. And she did not have her sexy accent at all. This change does not make any sense to me. And then we realize that her brother is Cobra Commander. Again, a very stupid and poor choice for the writers to make. Why does Hollywood always want to change beloved characters like this? And Scarlet falls in love with Ripcord. Ripcord was never a very popular or a very important character to the G.I. Joe animated series. Somehow they put him in here as a main character. In the cartoon series, Scarlet is in love with Duke. I've heard that in the comic book series, she is in love with Snake Eyes. Why in this movie did they change it again and make her in love with Ripcord? It's stupid. According to this movie, she is a very smart person. She graduated college at 12 years old, it is said, and she falls in love with the dumbest, goofiest G.I. Joe. Why? Also, Ripcord in the cartoon series is white, and for some reason they chose to cast this as a black actor, Marlon Wayans. I've complained about this before, of changing of characters' races. In X-Men Origins Wolverine, they did it in Iron Man, and it seems to be happening a lot in movies lately. It's done in Daredevil as well. It's not like G.I. Joe had no black characters to choose from. Marlon Wayans could play. G.I. Joe has plenty of black characters, such as Alpine, Big Lob, Doc, Iceberg, Roadblock, Zap, or Stalker, which is the character that Marlon Wayans should have played since he was stalking Scarlet. When I saw the trailer, I was complaining about the accelerator suits because I thought this was lame. This is not something G.I. Joe would use. Yeah, G.I. Joe uses their weapons and a few gadgets here and there, but they never use these high-tech devices. They never have. And they're scattered throughout this movie. G.I. Joe and Cobra have them both, and there's tons of them in this movie. And some of them only get to be used once. Now, early on, we are shown a camouflage suit which makes the wearer invisible. Now, this would have been great to use when they're sneaking around in Cobra's headquarters, but they only use it once, and it gets damaged, and they never use it again. Don't they have other suits of these hanging around? They just had that one? Come on. And then there's a scene where Breaker, another lesser-known G.I. Joe character, stabs a guy in the head with his technical device, which can read people's minds and somehow get images from their minds. This is worse than the amnesia bullets from X-Men Origins Wolverine. This makes no sense. And then some major G.I. Joe characters die in this movie, such as CoverGirl. She is a pretty major part of G.I. Joe, and she has a couple lines in this movie and is killed. Storm Shadow also apparently dies. My friends disagree with me and think he'll probably be back in the sequel, which he probably will. But why kill him off at all to begin with? Not only do they change the race of certain characters in this movie, but they change their nationality as well. Heavy Duty is now British. In the original cartoon series, he's American. Why do they make him British? And Baroness is also now, like I said before, is now American when she was European in the cartoon series. My final grade for this movie is a D-, and something's going wrong with my computer right now. It's something strange. What? What's that? Cobra Commander? What are you doing here?
I am taking over this movie review.
What? You're taking over this movie review?
Yes. This movie is the greatest movie ever. It deserves an A+.
No. This movie is terrible. It's getting a D minus.
No, it's getting an A plus.
No, Cobra Commander. I'm not letting you ruin this movie review like you ruined this movie. It's getting a D minus, and that's it.
No.
Yes, get out of here for G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, a D minus. I'm Tony Beers. I'll see you next time.
No.
Get out of here, Cobra Commander. Go. Get. I'll sick G.I. Joe on you if you don't get out of here. Go.
Cobra, retreat.
G.I. Joe!